Welcome, everybody. This thing feels very loud, like you can really hear me. Welcome to the ribbon cutting for the Weingart Willows project. This is 50 units of permanent supportive housing. What is very unique about this model, and it's a model which which will be replicated other places, is that started out as a motel, relatively inexpensive to rehab, and now we have 50 units of permanent supportive housing for formerly homeless people here. Right here in the Harbor Gateway area. Yay, Harbor Gateway, right? And you know, these things come together with the help of lots of people, all of whom we will be acknowledging throughout the day. Most importantly, it comes with the participation of literally every level of government. This is a building which has Section 8 vouchers, which come from the federal government. It was part of the county is our partner in the application to the state for funding, and of course the city of Los Angeles providing its guidance and permitting and processing and all of those things. So this is one of those things that requires everybody, including our team, in order to come together. And so hopefully we won't miss any names, but it seems like a simple thing, but these are very complicated projects. You notice this particular property, you notice as we do in all the Weingart projects, we have a dog park. We are completely dog friendly. People will get their own apartment. As I say, many of these people came from shelters, some directly off the street, and they now have an apartment that is their own. They have a lease. It's their place and it's their home, and it's completely gratifying when you see someone move into their own place. And this is a model of motel conversions that we're going to continue to utilize. We think it's very effective. We think it's cost effective. And by the way, almost every community has some motels which maybe they might want to be converted into housing like ours. So we are going to continue to utilize this model. Let me do some acknowledgments at the outset. I got to find my acknowledgement sheet here because I found that the more things happen in life, you end up doing what you're told. So along the way, I want to first acknowledge our team. Tanya Boykin, our COO. Big round of applause for Tanya. Gets it done. Ben Rosen, our VP of Real Estate Development, who is really creating this. And by the way, Weingart alone has 4 others of these along the way that will be opening within probably the next year. Much thanks to him. Also, Marcus Mercale, who drove this project. Carter Cumbo, our asset manager, who makes it happen every day. Adrian Beasley, the head of our permanent supportive housing services. And by the way, I want to point out that that's important. You know, each one of these residents will have a case manager whose day-to-day, all-day job is to make sure that there's a caseload of 20, but their job is to make sure that those people, A, stay stabilized in the house and try to improve their lives, try to increase their income, try to get them jobs, try to deal with all of the things that life throws at them and has thrown at them. So moving on, if you haven't been mentioned, we have more announcements to do, but first I want to bring up the person who I think is probably one of the most significant supporters of the Weingart Center over the years that I can imagine. I think I mentioned we partnered with the county to apply to the state for these funds, and then the county put in also all of its matching funds. But I want to go back 5 years. She thought I was going to go back 20, but no. But I want to go back 5 years, and the Weingart Center was certainly growing and moving, and we've accomplished some things in our area. But I walked into her office in Sacramento one day when she was the chair of the Budget Committee in the State Senate. and I expressed to her a vision of what we wanted to do in the permanent supportive housing and in the real estate development area. And to her credit, not only did she get it and support it, but unique among many of our elected officials, she knew how to get it done. And so as a result of that conversation, the Weingart Center received a pretty significant size grant, which was the basis for our entire real estate development activities. So that funding allowed us to hire a real estate development staff. It allows us to put deposits down on pieces of real estate. It allowed us to make the deal that we made that built our big tower downtown. So we owe this particular woman, Supervisor Holly Mitchell, a round of applause and a standing ovation, because we are where we are in significant part because of this woman and her willingness to put up with me, which is not that easy. I figured I'd get that out first. Supervisor Holly Mitchell.
I really appreciate your generosity, Senator. And we've come a long way together. When he was elected to the Senate, the state Senate, I was a lobbyist. I just left the employ as a staffer in the legislature and was lobbying for the Western Center on Law and Poverty. So we spent a lot of time together. And I'm just proud of our evolution and how deeply proud I am of you, given your intellect, because you know he's wicked smart, which irritates me too. And to have people like that, to have vision and putting together the deals and willing to capitalize off of relationships they have to help give me the roadmap that I could then just stand in my bully pulpit and make it happen. So I appreciate you without question. And it gives me great pride to come to these ribbon cutting ceremonies, because I am clear that it is a jumping off point, if you will, for people into the next stage of their lives. And all of us who have the privilege to be housed, certainly over these last 3 weeks, have a heightened appreciation of how blessed we truly are, that in an instant you could lose your housing. I think we have heard stories and carry empathy for our unhoused family, friends, and neighbors about the series of events that may have led to them not having housing. But we should all be so painfully aware that in an instant, the direction of wind blowing can change your housing status. And I think it makes this work and our overall understanding, I hope, much more profound and deeper. Was deeply pleased to join with my colleagues from LA City Council, with other county departments, the state's home key funding. You know, I hear a lot, and sometimes I hear it coming out of my own mouth when I watch the news in the morning, that we can be deeply disappointed with government. We can sometimes feel very jaded by government. Me too. But I would argue and hope that you will help me in understanding that this is the role of government. That this is a tangible thing that government done right can help materialize. And when government gets out of its own way and partners with other branches and levels of government, we can make magic happen for our shared constituency. I first saw motel transitions into permanent supportive housing maybe about 15 years ago in Utah, when I led a legislative delegation to go see and understand how the city and county of Salt Lake had been able to reduce their chronic unhoused population by 90% over a decade, and toured and saw and understood the financial mechanics of these kinds of transitions. And so I'm really glad to partner and to know that the Weingart Willows is one of 11 county housing sites that's part of the state's Home Key program only in the 2nd Supervisorial District. Very proud of that. That the county has invested over $16 million of our ARPA dollars just for this site, Weingart Willows. And collectively, that is a little over 500 units located in the 2nd Supervisorial District. Again, makes me very proud. I'm proud that we have an active pipeline of housing developments because stable, dignified housing is the key ingredient to solving the homelessness crisis. I have the distinct honor of having been the author when I was in the Senate of carrying the Housing First bill. And there are lots of people who like to point to Housing First as the reason we have so many unhoused. I stand on the data that validates that people need housing, stable housing, that I believe that housing is a fundamental human right. And when we provide that, people are then able to address the other issues that we all grapple with. And so I'm proud to say I authored the Housing First bill, made California a Housing First state, and they can keep talking about me, and I will keep standing on the principle that it was then and continues to be the right thing to do. Thank you, Councilmember McCosker. I appreciate our partnership and the collaboration with Weingart. I look forward to, as you help cut the red tape at the city level on many of the behind the scenes issues that we have to do to make projects like this happen. I am very proud to stand with you today as we cut the red ribbon, welcoming people home. Sorry Congresswoman Waters isn't here, but federal government played a role also in terms of the Section 8 housing vouchers. We all have a role to play. Every level of government has their own lane. Trust me, I am leaning in with my foot on the full accelerator, driving as fast as I can in my lane and telling McCosker and the Congresswoman, y'all better catch up. Because I'm going full speed ahead. And in closing, thank you to the governor for his vision around Home Key, the Department of Housing, Community Development, for working with our county departments. County family here, raise your hand. County family members, thank you. It is not just your elected officials, but it is those who are in the county family who make this work their careers, and I thank you as well for all the work you do to help make it happen. Senator, thank you very much for the partnership and the opportunity. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause for Weingart's godmother. I also want to, as we go along, I also want to acknowledge two also other very important people for us, because they are the people who approve us getting these projects done and doing them and investing the money and time and effort into these projects. I want to introduce two of our board members, Kristen Jimenez and Aurea Montez. I need a louder row of applause. They're my bosses. So I also want to acknowledge Cherie Todoroff and Jennifer Lee. Are they here, part of the county family, the Homeless Initiative? We work very closely with them. They are the people that are with us day to day and fighting, even down to the day-to-day case notes of people. And I want to specifically say that, you know, the Homeless Initiative is a wonderful operation, and they do great work. As you may have read in the announcements for this, the mayor of Los Angeles was supposed to be here when we originally scheduled this thing before the crises happened, but she, of course, is dealing with things which we all agree are more important than being here today. But in her stead, I would like to bring up Alfredo Rodriguez from the Mayor's Office of Community Engagement. Alfredo, are you, there you are.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So I just wanted to present a certificate on behalf of the mayor's office. So if I can have you
Sure.
and a couple of the board members maybe come up.
Come on up.
That'd be great. In celebration, this is a really exciting, very important day for the city. And so On behalf of the mayor, we offer heartfelt congratulations on opening Weingart Willows and wish the project much success. And I extend my gratitude for Weingart's decades of work to support unhoused Angelinos and to improve their lives. So thank you so much.
Hey, why don't we step out of the podium for the picture?
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So again, thank you to the mayor, and the mayor, of course, has been a wonderful partner all along, and you've heard about her cutting red tape. She is all about cutting red tape and helping us get these projects done, and that is very important. And representing, however, the city of Los Angeles here today is our local councilman, also a long-term friend of mine, Mr. Councilman Tim McCosker.
Thank you so much, Senator. It is so great to be with you here today. We go through all of these community meetings that are always tough but important, but it is really, really important to walk through with community what these projects are about. And so it's really nice to have a ribbon cutting too. It's nice to, and then it will be great joy to continue to work with you to make sure that everything you need leads to the success of folks that are going from, their previous houselessness to this home and to the rest of their lives. I want to actually call out, I'm going to take a point of personal privilege and call out the heroes in this system, who are the caseworkers, the case managers, the navigators, the people. Yeah, let's hear it for the folks, the different job titles, but you know what I mean. The folks that are there with the folks on their journey. And I will say that some of you who know me well know that my wife is a case manager with another entity, Brilliant Corners. And she just lives and breathes and prays over and grieves sometimes and celebrates other times, just the journey that everyone is on. The journey that everyone is on. It is such a blessing that we can be here today, because all of the important things with the legislation and pulling down the funding and going to the community meetings and talking to building and safety and just making sure it all happens, it's great. But the real work is being with people on the journey and just coming up with those strategies for how you get from one thing to the next and life's success. And there's a lot of people to thank, and I know you thanked a few of them, but I do want to call out especially the LA County Homeless Initiative. It's such great work, and I'm honored to provide a little bit of support from the city and the LA County Development Authority. Let's hear it for the Development Authority. The California Department of Housing and Community Development. Really important. Thank you. And then the community partners. It's really great that we, in the 1-5 message, you guys all know about the 1-5, right? One district, 5 beloved communities. From Watts to the waterfront, my beautiful district, which is much smaller than the supervisor's district, because I couldn't, besides not being able to keep up with her on the accelerator, I couldn't represent such a gigantic district as hers. But my little corner of the world, our 260,000 souls, is Watts, Wilmington, Harbor City, San Pedro, and our beloved Harbor Gateway. One district, 5 beloved communities. And we have so many folks who do good work in the Gateway. I want to call out especially the Harbor Gateway North Neighborhood Council. And we have RV Powell, who's here. RV, wave. RV Powell is here. And Rosalie Preston. So Harbor Gateway North, has done the tough work of holding community meetings and talking about the project and engaging in how we get to yes, how we get to making sure that this development, this project, is part of the community. And I know that day in and day out, they're going to keep working to make sure it's part of the community. So I appreciate you very much. Congratulations. I'm so happy to be here. And just please know that along with the feds and along with our great supervisor, the city also leans in, and we're going to be part of this project. And we don't just cut a ribbon and walk away. I know you got to move on to the next project and develop that. We'll help you with that, but we're also going to be here to support you on this journey. So thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. I want to expound on something the councilman said. We're here doing the ribbon cutting, and we raise the money, and we do all these other complicated things. But this is about the tenants. This is about the people. And this is about the case managers that the councilman mentioned. So I want to point out Summer Barber, who is the head case manager here. Where are you, Summer? Stand up so everyone can see you. Summer has been with the Weingart Center 10 years-ish, right? Nine? Well, I'm going to say 10 anyway. And next to her is Tony, who is the property manager at this property. She works for Barker Management, and we have a large number of projects with them. And as you know, caring property managers and case managers together, they are really working with these clients. You know, a lot of these clients have had some trauma along the way of their lives. One of the things that happens with that is that you lose your village. You lose your connections. You lose that person to just say, hey, this happened, what do you think? So our case managers don't just pass paperwork and help them apply for stuff, but they really become their family. They are a substitute family, a substitute village. And by the way, one of the things that we emphasize is family reunification. And that is one of the reasons we get you back to stability, is to help you create a village. And the other thing I wanted to point out about this specific facility is, hopefully you'll go and you'll see some of the rooms. And one of the things that the Weingart does is we try to create a dignified place for somebody to live. This is not a shelter where you just put a cot in a room. We try to create a good living environment. For instance, every one of these rooms has a TV. Everything has a full kitchen. Every unit comes with what we call a welcome home kit, which is everything you need to start a life. Pots, pans, cups, pillows, bedding. So we hope you can see the units, see the quality materials that we've tried to provide, because we don't want, and frankly, we've done other projects where people, some of the pushback has been, why are you giving these people this nice thing? And one of the things we try to provide, in addition to all the other things, is dignity, because that's how people work their self-esteem, and that's how they get back to normal, what we would call normal life. Normal life. So I'm going to do a few acknowledgments. Thank you, actually, Councilman McCosker, because you kind of got most of them that I needed to do. But specifically with the Department of Housing and Community Development, I don't know if they're here or not, but I want to call out the director, Gustavo Velasquez, and the deputy director, Jennifer Seeger. This can't happen without them. They have embraced Los Angeles, as you guys know, and they have embraced our needs, and particularly with this Home Key program. So let's give a round of applause for them, whether they're here or not. And, God, Tim, you really did get most of my people. Yeah, you should. Is Jimmy Chung here? New Creations Builders. They were there you are, Jimmy. They were the contractors that did all this great work. I see Hadel Shah, and is James here too? No. Oh, there you are. Okay. So James Kelly and Hadel Shah from Ginsler Architects. And by the way, Ginsler does a lot of big, important stuff, and thank God they accepted us as a client, and they do great work. And they are known for their very high-end interiors, and they use that skill for us today. So a round of applause for Ginsler. And again, Tony's boss at Barker Management, Marianne Gonzalez, who's, I think you're the regional director here. And is Peter still here? Peter Barker? There you go, Peter. And now, without further ado, because everyone on this front row, they are essentially my bosses, and I end up doing what they're told. Yeah, including you. Including you. I want to bring up a woman who has evolved over time and is now holds one of the most important positions in homeless services. And I've known her for a long time, and one of the things, and having been in government before, one of the things you find out about the world in general is that there are talkers and pontificators, and then there are doers. And the next speaker I'm about to bring up is a doer. And we so much enjoy working with her. And one of the things you also in government is there are rules and people are pontificating. And frankly, it's a great day, even if somebody tells you no, if they just tell you what the straight answer is. And one of the things Dr. Kellums Adams does not do is mince words, and she will tell you the straight scoop. So Dr. Valicia Adams Kellum.
Thank you so much. And Senator, I'm very proud of you, and I'm appreciative that you are so profoundly committed to saving lives. This is the kind of building that saves lives. That's what we want to see and understand. When you see the building and all that went into it, I want you to see into the hearts of the lives that will be changed and restored. This is this type of space that helps us end homelessness. Before I begin, I also want to take a moment to thank everyone who's been working so hard to help people who've been harmed and hurt by the fires and been in harm's way and helping to bring people back from great harm and trauma. So I really do appreciate the first responders and all who have helped people make it through this difficult time. It's a big belief of mine that it takes all of us working together to restore lives and to build buildings like this and to ultimately address homelessness and bring people inside. Since 2023, when I left St. Joseph Center and came on the dark side of things, we've focused on working together to develop new and innovative initiatives and strategies to improve the life of people who are struggling deeply. And I'm happy to say that the latest data that we see coming out of LAHSA, and yes, data coming out of LAHSA, that's a good thing. You should be clapping for that. Is that we've moved 45% more people from the street to permanent housing. That's something to cheer about. We've also moved about 32% more people from street to interim housing. That means we're addressing unsheltered homelessness, which is a big concern, that chronicity and pain that we see, 5 to 6 people dying every day. When we move them indoors, when we move them inside spaces like this and many other spaces that the senator and his team have helped develop, that is what helps restore lives. And we've also moved 29% more people from those interim spaces, which people get worried because that's not permanent, but we've moved 29% more into permanency because we're going to keep our promises, not just to bring people inside, but to bring them inside permanently. It is with that in mind that I'm excited to join the celebration today. This beautiful 53-unit building is spectacular, and it will help chronically homeless individuals come back to a life that they feel good about. And it's the lives that will be behind these doors that will be transformed. For the years that I helped do this as the CEO of a nonprofit agency, I know what happens in those spaces. It's frightening to take another shot at it, to trust people again, to let them into your heart, and to love again. More importantly, to begin to love yourself again. And buildings like this help people reconnect to themselves and to their families and to community. I want to again congratulate all of you for this amazing accomplishment. I am so proud to be a part of this work, And I, again, just say more and more and more is needed, so let's keep at it.
A bigger round for the head of LASA. I want to add a comment about Dr. Adams-Kellum. Over the years that I have been doing this, and she talked about data, and there are a lot of people that study data, and there are a lot of people that write papers on data, and there are a lot of people that analyze and pontificate, and the overwhelming majority of them have never actually met a homeless person. But I want to say about Dr. Adams-Kellum is she comes from our world. She comes from running a program. She comes from not, this is how we move 1,000 people, but she comes from, how do I get this one person to move from the street? And I think if there is anything that is a positive direction in the operations at LASA and all the various government agencies, more people like Dr. Adams-Kellum who understand that we're not dealing with numbers, we're not dealing with concepts, but we're dealing with real people whose motivations may and whose logic may or may not meet what you think they are. You have to meet people where they are. And so with that, we're almost to the end of this. I just want to make another couple of comments about our building. First of all, please go and see the rooms. We want you to see what we're trying to provide people. And I also want to reiterate something that the councilman said, is that you can't do this without the community. So without the neighborhood councils and the community groups and people like you, you just can't do this. And one of the things, frankly, that we think differentiates Weingart is that we go into one of these projects, and yes, we want to get our entitlements and our approvals, but we go out and we try to talk to community members about what we're doing, and not just talk to them, but actually take their feedback and do what we can. And the other thing I want to emphasize about this particular project is just where it's located. So we need to be doing more projects like this, not concentrated in Skid Row or not concentrated in but every community needs to take a little bit of the burden and get what we hope is some of the benefit. And so we've got projects in Westwood, we've got projects in Baldwin Park, we've got projects all around the county, and we want to continue that movement so that we are not concentrating everything in one community or the other. So with that, thank you. Let's go cut a ribbon, and hopefully you guys will see some rooms. Thank you.